Okay. So, first thing on the agenda is, the public hearing for 190 Main Street. So, well, hang on.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, so do we have all the return receipts for the notifications? So, okay. Just to let you know how this works, you'll be making a presentation to the board and the public. And what we'll do is we'll listen to the presentation, but then open it up for public comment, public, and then the board will ask questions and we'll take up the approval of the application. So with that, I will turn it over to you. You could, give us your name and take us through your application.
Yep. Good evening. I'm Rich Vale. I'm the architect for this Disloyal Fund Tempo. And we are proposing to basically renovate their kitchen and mudroom area, kind of reconstruct it, but within the same footprint. But above the kitchen, we are also proposing a second floor addition. Right now, it's a one-story structure that's kind of comes off the house around the midsection off the east side, and we're going to take that roof off and then build a second floor above it that's going to house a guest room level. Our intention is to match as carefully as possible the details of the existing house, and we took that in mind when we're designing it. Some of the details include some decorative cedar bracket that kind of picks up some of the detailing found on the house. Some of the corbels that are already there were influenced by. Siding will match existing, the roof will match existing. Windows, we tried to keep the same kind of character with the 6/6 double hungs. Gutters will match existing. We're also proposing a small little porch roof over the side entrance that can be seen on the east elevation. And so there's no footprint change really. The addition will be on the second floor, but it will overhang about 2 feet and project out to the east on that. But there's no foundation work other than we are going to rebuild there's a landing at the side entrance that plans to reconstruct that. It's kind of a little bit in rough shape right now, so we will create a new landing with a bluestone top, and it'll be brick to match the existing foundation wall. And from the last meeting, there were a few things you requested, and we provided some additional photos of the east side of the house. That's really where the work is occurring. We also generated the south elevation, the front elevation, so you can see kind of how it's going to look from if you're on Main Street. The addition set back a bit, so it's not probably going to look quite like that, like it's showing on the 2D view of it. It'll be more set back from the road. We also added more notation on what materials we are going to use on the elevations. That was one of your requests.
Okay. So we have information about the All right, let me open it up for the public. Do we have any comment from the public? Okay, with that resounding silence, I'll go ahead and close public comment. And basically what I'll do is now open it up to board members for if they have any questions concerning the application.
I don't have any questions. I think the few things that we requested, the application was already very complete. So the few things we requested are here. The south elevation is helpful. I like the overhang at the door. It almost softens the addition just behind it. So I think it's contextual and appropriate.
Will the bracket that's holding this up have the hole drilled out on it? Will it have that decorative element?
Oh, you mean similar to the brackets on the porch? It's got an opening in the middle, but it's not the circular holes of of those smaller brackets in the front porch.
So so what is shown here on this drawing, proposed east elevation, is in fact all of the work that you're proposing, right? So let me just sort of go through it, make sure that we're aware. So we're taking this route, these windows on the second floor,
Right, yeah,
and it's being replaced with two windows.
that's the early 2000s edition, right? So it's not really historic, but we're gonna remove those windows.
And on the first floor, where you have one window now, you're gonna go to two. And the area above, above or on the second floor is actually being added to project out.
Correct.
And you've got a little porch, the bracket, and the door it's a new door.
We'll replace the door of this area.
And you're adding a landing. I guess my question is that, is it a landing or is it a step?
It's a landing that's with, that creates one, the second step down.
We have that shown in plan.
What plans?
Yeah, I see it. The tables in front of it.
So It's a full-size, landing.
Yeah, 3 by 3.
Okay. And looking at the, rear elevation. I mean, just for clarity's sake, there are, and that's, on this elevation, there are a bunch of windows and doors that have the, the filler, on the doors. But that doesn't indicate anything. These are all existing that are to remain.
These are the east elevation,
Right?
the doors on the east elevation, the driveway side.
Yeah. On the proposed, this elevation,
Oh, right,
you have this tone on
right,
all of the windows.
yeah,
And I'm just clarifying that
those are existing.
those are
Yeah.
existing to remain. It's the same thing is true on the proposed north elevation.
The windows, yeah, they're all dated, only the ones I noted as, new would be.
Uh, Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Oh, what? Okay, so this is the existing one. Have you worked out what the slope is on the roof?
It's like a 2.5 pitch. That, but it's relatively shallow.
And this has nothing to do with the, application, but for your information, typically, asphalt shingles require 3 on 12.
Right.
So you're gonna be above that, which means you're probably gonna have to put in some, membrane underneath the roof.
Yeah, certain situations like that, we use ice and water shield, just coat the whole roof with the, that and then shingles over it.
Um, just out of curiosity. Okay, these are 2 new windows. On this elevation, it's just these 2 windows.
Right, yeah.
All right. I don't have any other questions. Any of the, other board members have comments?
The only comment that I would have is, if it's something that house here. And it also has that very similar decorative element where they're all filled out.
Okay. I don't think, that's the same, it's not, because if you take a look at it, this is sort of a typical, sort of, Victorian flourish as far as the capital of the, whereas this,
The ones on the house next door are from their 2020 renovation, 2020, 2021.
whereas this is a lot larger than that. I mean, the size of this is comparable to the size
Yeah.
here.
And I see the profile.
All right, is that a problem for you?
Just enough.
Just one.
An observation.
Kate,
Todd's also joined in.
who is that guy?
Sorry. Yeah, but unfortunately these documents are not on the website, so I can't see anything that may be updated, i.e. oh, you're gonna send me? Thank you. Uh the front elevation, yeah.
Actually, that one elevation, I think that's the only thing that.
Did you check your inbox by any chance?
The question was to you, Todd.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of emails that came through just in the last hour, but they did not have any that I could tell, did not have the front elevation on there. Most of it was about the one on Market Street. Okay.
All right, and does anybody have any other comments? All right, do I have a motion concerning this application? Somebody has to give me a motion.
Motion to approve the application.
Yes.
As submitted.
As submitted. Do I have a second? Okay, with that, Todd, I'm assuming that you're abstaining.
I would ideally prefer to abstain. Yeah.
Okay, Kate? You vote?
Aye.
I vote aye. Okay, you got it.
All right, thank you.
We will process this over the weekend and get back to you and send emails. You email the certificate of appropriateness. Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Just push your way through the crowd, you know, All right, Todd, are you gonna participate as far as the 32 Market Street?
Yeah, that stuff was on the email and is on the website, so I'm good on that. Yep.
Okay. All right, let me just make a note.
I'm also, and I think if it works and it's helpful from this meeting moving forward, I'm taking notes that I can send and you can do what you want with them. Some reformatting, some revisions with that.
32 Market Street. Matt, come on down. Tell us what you're doing and why.
Well, the why is, I had a nighttime visitor,
Wow.
car drove into our front porch. It was like a small bomb went off. I've been bombed. It was like a small bomb. Right downstairs, everything was fine. The guy was okay. Anyway, if you'd like, you got some pictures? Okay, good. Okay. More or less like to replace it in kind. We're not getting any younger, and trying to keep the appearance quite nice on the front of the house. I find myself paying to repaint it or repainting this thing, restaining this every 2 to 3 years. It's 30-year-old pressure treated lumber. The only difference I would like to change is this product right here as the deck board, as the tread surfaces. I have another one here that would be like the fascia or the skirt, but I think we're actually gonna skip that and have all the vertical surfaces stay the solid red. So kind of match the aesthetic of the rest of the house. The garage doors here. I don't know if you can, yeah, I got one other picture here that shows the garage doors as well. Yeah, it might have been in there. So there's like a solid
You
red.
are right there.
Yes.
It's a solid red, white and blue home. And I feel like if this one were the fascia, we were looking at it today, or the skirt, it kind of would detract from it. So we're actually 90% sure we're not going with that. So it's just the tread surfaces that we would like to use a composite product to make it lower maintenance. And this is the product we would use because it's the closest red match I could find. It's a very expensive product.
Okay, when you say tread surfaces, you're talking about the walking surface on the porch
The porch and the steps.
and the steps.
Yeah.
Okay,
The railings would probably stay the same unless I can find a wrought iron that I like and meets budget. It's a small area, so it's possible. I think it would look really sharp with a black wrought iron.
I think if the railings stay as they were, we don't have to review it, but if you do want to change it at that time, we would need to have a quick look.
Okay. Wrought iron is something that is not necessarily frowned upon, I assume, right? That's a historic material, or no?
well, we have the historic site is the Cold Spring Foundry.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, local material. All right,
If
and
you
the
have anywhere in the post,
post is gonna be wood, painted wood.
most would remain the same, white. Likely, painted wood.
This edge doesn't, the material, the finish doesn't wrap around, and so I'm just wondering.
Sure, it does. I'm absolutely certain it must. I
Okay,
don't know if
so-
this is just a sample that, yeah, I would not be interested in the product if it didn't. The salesman, I can confirm with them.
I'm sure there's lots of
No,
different.
I would not want that
extrusions,
little,
just because we wouldn't, want
Yeah,
that on
no,
there.
I wouldn't want that
Okay.
either. And then here's the other one. I mean, I don't know which is exactly which, but this one has like a grooved locking.
Okay, I guess my question
But that would
is
be the
that
end piece.
right now the decking is exposed on the side and looking at the samples, it looks like the interior material would be visible.
No, I think they have a special end cap piece. I believe. And as far as a skirt, like I said, the vertical boards, the non-tread surfaces are gonna remain solid red. So when we rebuild that, we can skirt it and hide that edge at a worst case scenario. But I will confirm that they make the product where you won't see that edge, because I don't want that either.
Yeah, 'cause I think on your stairs, you won't want that,
No,
you'll want the
absolutely
skirt
not.
to sit,
Yeah. I'm
On
not
the
sure
riser,
why this
just for
sample
the-
has that.
the detail too, you'll want to step.
Right, it almost doesn't make sense to even put that on your sample, but.
We can, I mean, depending, I would feel comfortable just writing that in, and not, you wouldn't have to come back with that as an example, we could just agree it in writing.
This is down at Dane's lumber.
Really, any questions or comments?
Well, the decking is visible from the street because it's lower than the road.
Once your garden gets going. Don't you have a massive garden that you, unless you're new, there's someone in there with a,
There are,
oh, here, right? Not that that's a,
yeah, I mean,
like, year-round approach, but
somewhat visible. I mean, the car took out some of this privacy hedge here. If standing from the north looking due south.
Okay,
yeah, I'm not concerned. I think that there are more contemporary elements to this corner facade with the notched out and the stone veneer, and it's set back from the street. I think composite materials are becoming more common. I've walked by a few other buildings that have it that are more prominent, and I think this will be discreet, especially if it's not the skirting. I think all of the risers, I think that's great that it can be maintained. I guess I'm worried a little bit about the color differentiation. If it starts to get, a red painted riser and then this, material as the tread, it starts to get too stripy. But I appreciate what you're trying to do.
What's the name of this product?
Missouri, and the color is Brazilian. Uri.
Missouri.
It's made by Royal Building Products.
I guess, my question is that, are you locked into this material? Explain to you the reason.
No, I haven't purchased it yet. I have not committed to it. It is the closest. It is a 99% match with the red. I would call it, it is quite discreet. I would think that is the word.
Well, the reason I'm asking the question is because, as you can see from the cross section, what you see on the exterior is in fact a laminate. It's not, the material itself.
Yes, I
There's-
think it's printed on of some kind of.
Yeah, it's obviously laminated. You can see the edge over here, as well as over here. So the question really is that, are you better off if you're trying to get a match is to use a material like an AZAC or one of those other materials that don't have an inherent color, but they are paintable. And then becomes a question of getting the paint to match what is there.
I prefer not to go that route, and the reason being, maintenance. Anytime you have to paint something, you're gonna have to repaint it. I've never painted composite materials other than window trim white.
But this is like, if I can't see the sample clearly, obviously, but this is like a white PVC that's got a laminated fake wood pattern on the top and surrounding it.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree with Al. I mean, I understand that the point of using a composite is to reduce maintenance, but once that laminate starts to go, which is going to happen, you're going to then end up with a product that you aren't going to be able to do anything with, and it's going to be just peeling fake wood kind of pattern all over the place.
Well, that, and also the other thing to point out is that your concern is about the paint, having to repaint the composite material. But the composite material is just the horizontal surface, or just the horizontal surfaces. And so if you have to repaint, you're going to wind up having to repaint all of the other wood components. And
But
so
that's much less frequent, I would argue, because anything that doesn't have water sitting on it or stepped on, like my deck, I'm thinking like the spindles, like those need so much less attention than say the top rail. Anything that doesn't have water sit on. I hear what you mean, and it's true. Yes, there would still be parts of the deck that are going to be maintained with paint.
Aren't most composites kind of that are colorized all the way through the material? Like when you cut a piece of Trex or something that's a dark color, it's not white on the inside, right?
I am not an expert in the world of composite materials. I know
I've never seen a piece that is a laminated on version like that, I guess is kind of what I'm saying. So there are yeah, where the core is white PVC and then it's a material that's laminated over the top. I guess I just would, regardless of whether it gets approved or not, I would not be under any illusions that it's maintenance free. And so it's a material that's going to then degrade and be unsightly enough that warrants its replacement again, which is,
Yeah.
a problem in and of itself. But other composite materials that are colorized, when you cut them in half, that color runs through the whole material. So
Yeah, I chose this one because it came recommended from the salesperson at Danes and was trying to make the wood grain look match.
Yeah.
To match a natural material look. I wouldn't be opposed to another type of Trex where that color is through, but you don't get the wood grain as much.
That's
I don't-
true.
Um, Can we ask you to do a little bit more research? I mean, I don't think that we have any strong objections to you. As a matter of fact, I think it's even allowed in our guidelines to using a composite material for the horizontal surfaces that you're asking for. It's just that, we feel that there's probably a better product. And ultimately, I think you need to make that call, than this particular material. I know, for example, there have been a lot of instances where we've used composite materials in historic, buildings. But I've never heard of Zuri. And, not that, I should, know, or, I would know every single
Yeah.
permutation combination. But, I think that there are probably other materials which would probably suit your purpose better. And so would you have any problem, let's say, taking, the month and doing the research on other materials? Or is there a time constraint?
There is a possible time constraint with, people's schedules, and contractor work. There's a couple week opening for my contractor in the beginning of May. So it would give us some time, but it wouldn't give us enough time to meet again next month, because I believe the meeting next month is May 20th. Very late in the month, whereas this one's very early. It's a big full 5 weeks. I'm certainly not opposed to doing more research. I mean, do it once and do it right. Yeah, you mentioned the peeling. This sample right here, actually, maybe because it's a sample, has a tiny bit of that peeling, which had me concerned. I didn't notice that till this evening. Again, it's the color kind of match is gonna be the difficulty and the major bottleneck or constraint, I think.
Well, I think that, the issue is that,
You don't make too many deep red.
well, once you commit to it, you're gonna spend a certain amount of money and then you have to live with it for the duration. It's not like something that, pick the wrong color, you can always repaint it. I mean, it's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Commitment.
Right. So,
And it's, whatever, 3x or whatever the cost of one or more.
well, I don't think so. For example, what have we approved? AZAC and Trex? What are the other composite materials that we?
Trex is one, I'm looking at their website now. I'm not sure that I've been in any meetings for you. About a decade.
Right. Todd,
Todd, if you have.
do you
I mean, I know
Yeah.
those are the two that I'm the most familiar with. I can't recall any other brand names right now that have come up in the past. I'm sure there are some, but I feel like the most important thing is that whatever that material is that color is kind of run through the whole composite material and not just laminated on, which I think will be problematic for you in the future.
Especially since you want to do this so you don't have to do
Right,
maintenance down
right.
the road.
No, I understand nothing lasts forever, except for some stone jobs seem to do well.
All right, can we put it off for a month?
I don't know if that would be very good for my schedule and my contractor. Is there a way to do it with a contingency of some kind? I mean, I'm happy to keep doing some research and try to find something that is less of a laminated and more, but pushing this off 5 weeks.
Is it just the material itself? Is there a way for like two of us to review it in between and sign off that way? And make it provisional based on the material review? I'm spitballing, because I'm not sure
Yeah.
that that's a thing that we're allowed to do.
I don't know, asking as well. Yep. Thank you.
Well, okay. Um. We can take a vote on this. But, you know, since, well, I guess we do have, four persons, but if it's not approved, then, chances are we'd have to go to something else. Now, I don't have any, problem with approving something that we've approved before, like AZAC or Trex. If you want us to approve your application with those two materials, I think that,
Feel good about me being able to find something in the deep red.
well, I mean, I sort of don't want to lock you into those two, only those two, but,
Right.
you know,
That's what
those
you
two
feel
are
comfortable.
products that we're familiar with.
Yeah.
So the question becomes whether or not, let me take a straw poll. This is not an official vote, but, the material that he brought, how many people would vote against it?
Have it, I mean, I do have concerns.
Okay, so, you know, right there, I have concerns, Todd has concern, Kate has concern. Emily.
I agree that it. Then it would be.
There are, I'm on the Trex website right now, and there are colors that are, one is called Lava Rock, one is called Cinnamon Cove that are in the red family. Those are like wood grain look too, just so you're aware.
Okay.
They've
Um,
brown than this red. Um,
yeah, but just there are things in the red family.
So, and the thing is that you shouldn't make a decision based on the photograph, but
Yeah.
that's all we have right now. Certainly there is a Trex that matches this very closely.
Okay. That could be approved today. Okay. And then I can see if it agrees with me and my wife, and if not, be back next month. But if it does, it could be approved today.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, so do I have a
And
motion?
AZAC as well.
Huh?
AZAC I only know is like, you know, the window trim.
yeah, it's called, I'm just on their site now. It's called
Boards as well.
It's called Timber Tech Decking by AZAC. So it's like the AZAC is the parent company, it seems.
Okay.
All right, so since those two materials are things that we've approved, what do I have a motion to approve this with the qualification that the material be either Trex or AZAC?
And the fascia is still wood,
Painted wood. Yeah, correct.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so Kimberly has moved that we approve the application, but not with this material, with either Trex or AZAC. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so Todd, your vote?
Aye.
Kate?
I,
I vote aye. Okay, got it. All right, so I will make that. Record.
Before I leave, I guess there's the one other question of if wrought iron on the railings. You mentioned that. Just need to come back, I guess, right? What would you need to see with the design? Okay. Samples are good too, obviously, right?
yeah, a drawing would be nice with sort of spindle sizes and
What other suggestions might you have, on a personal level or professional?
Honestly, I don't, I don't think the wrought iron is the right move for you. The windows, the siding, the trim, everything is kind of contemporary. The trim around the windows is quite big. I think wrought iron is going to be sort of strange and way too delicate and slender for your house.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, it is of its era.
Right.
I'd have to agree. I think that certainly there is so much wood trim throughout the entire house that the wrought iron would be certainly be very noticeable. I'm sure it's would be in a good way.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have the portionels. Send that out to you
Okay,
this weekend. Okay.
wonderful. Thank you very much. Danes is
Thank
having a
you.
deck show. Thank you. Next week, I believe. If you want to see some of these. Yeah, they sell a lot there. I just gravitated to this one because of the very obvious color match. But I will keep looking. Cool.
All right, thank you. Okay, the database inventory final form. Okay, can I, Abby, can I log on to the server? I just want to be able to project the form that I'm working on onto the screen.
You want to log on here? Would you prefer to join the Zoom? Can you do it that way?
Well, if I can log into the the Zoom meeting, I should be able to show what's on my screen, right? Okay.
So on the website, you go to the link below, that should do it for you.
Huh?
If you go to the website and the quick link, you should be able to get on.
I know,
Oh,
but the website. But I think I'm pretty sure I have the Google link. Do okay. Close, close, close.
Just out of curiosity, do you guys think that a fabricated aluminum railing good on this? Just wanna-
We can have one.
Oh, I was just curious.
is he planning on replacing the whole railing or just adding, I mean, he would need to, right? Because he already has the railing on the stairs, that's already existing. Just the side that got knocked off, is that right?
I guess maybe the simplest thing would be to, in fact, have you had a chance to look at the version that Lauren commented on?
I did. I saw both of your comments and I think they're all fine. I didn't really have anything to contribute or didn't disagree with anything either of you said. It seemed like Lauren went in after you and kind of confirmed and kind of reiterated what you said, right?
No internet. Okay, yeah, I need to log on to, what's the Wi-Fi here?
It should be, so it's gonna be ECSED. That's the one you're gonna select.
And the C, which one?
ECSEDPWN. And the
VCSGD?
E is an elephant.
Okay,
D is in dog.
EDP.
Yeah,
Okay,
and the password, I believe, is village with a capital V. Okay, so actually the password is gonna be the asterisk sign, then village with a capital V.
I'm sorry, but I don't have my hearing aids in, so I need to speak up. And you just, you can tell me.
I can show you, it's easier.
Okay,
And then pass it over. Oh,
do. This password, okay, asterisk village 10516. Okay.
and an asterisk at the end.
Discoverable. Okay, do I agree to terms? Do I have a choice? Thank you, Abby. Okay, search the web. Is that link on the boards and committees?
Boards and committees, historic district review board, the link should be on that page.
Click on the auto button to mute your mic. Okay. Fine.
Progress.
Okay. So now if I share. Sharing is not turned on. Send request. Okay, yeah, I guess. Sharing.
Then they'll say you don't have
Oh.
permission.
Can you guys see?
No, you have to go to Zoom.
I have to go to Zoom.
And I can see your face, Al.
Okay. At the bottom,
Toolbar, click on Zoom,
right there.
and then click on open up that window,
With this one.
the one next to it.
Oh.
There. Drag it up a little bit.
Okay, all right. Can you,
You have to share it, drag that up. And then mouse over and see what it says share.
Yeah.
Click on this window. Share.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So this is the format that I guess
Just mute it.
stop the voice.
I can't mute it.
How do I mute?
Volume.
That's the speakers.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Microphone.
Your microphone is muted. The sound is coming through here into that account to mute your speaker.
I know, but I think what I'm hearing is, it's coming through from this microphone and it's coming through there, so that's where the echo is.
Can you just turn the sound down? You have control of your.
Talking about the volume.
Yeah, turn that.
Just it off. Slide that over. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. What did I do? Do we need to go through this again?
Yeah, share.
I am unfortunately have to cut out in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm emailing you guys my comments on the minutes. It's not a lot, just a few little things.
Go back to the HD survey window.
Back to where?
Open this window up here. And then reopen the file that you had open before you accidentally closed.
Right there.
Yeah. Open that. I just double. And then go back to
Okay,
share. And Zoom.
go back to where?
To Zoom, hit stop share.
Alright.
And then go back to share again. And then click on
Okay.
that. Just double.
Okay. I'll talk quickly because Todd needs to go and do what he needs to do in Los Angeles. So this is the format. I mean, it's very similar. I just changed some things. And let me scroll down. This is, I've started doing the survey form for my house. But just set it up separately. You know, there's some general information about the house there, and then we get into character to defining features, which is a lot of what we probably will. Now, the only thing is that you know, some of the comments that Lauren had to do with how do we define stuff, for example, with plan form and some of the other descriptors that we have listed here. Should we have a instruction sheet which sort of describes how it's supposed to be filled out? So that is the question. Let me toss that out to everybody. Do we have any questions as far as how the form is supposed to be filled out? I mean, what are the,
I don't have any questions about it. I think that people may not know what some words mean, but that's kind of up to them to look things up. I don't know how, you know, we've talked about this off and on for so long. I think the intent was that someday maybe we would get some help doing this by an intern or somebody. Um, you know, I don't know how many homeowners are just going to go willingly and fill this out, but to me, the only thing is really jargon that may be misunderstood or not understood by people who don't have any experience in this field. That's easy enough to Google. So I think that otherwise the form is clear.
all right, well, I don't think that we're gonna be able to get homeowners to fill this out. I think this is
Right.
something that we're gonna have to fill out. And it just becomes a question of being consistent in how we fill it out.
Right.
So that's the only reason I thought that an instruction sheet of some sort would help. The other thing, for example, that Lauren mentioned is that she's got a number of porches, and I guess what we should, you know, there's a section here where I have 2 porches, but in fact there are 3 porches, and they're on different size. So you know, some sort of descriptor as far as how we identify the stuff that we feel is important that needs to be documented.
I mean, you could have a line that says porch 1, location, materials, details, and then the next line, you know, porch 2, location, materials, detail, and then the third line say additional porches or something like that.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's a Word document, so realistically, if I've got 3 porches,
Yeah,
I can insert a line or 2 lines and say porch 3,
totally. Yeah.
and so on. Okay. But and then the windows and commercial storefronts will only apply along Main Street. Other distinctive features are sort of a generic thing. And then Lauren had a question concerning the certificates of appropriateness. Certainly, one of the things, and I know it would apply to my house, is that I built a garage which was an additional building on the lot. So certainly we can identify the fact that there was a certificate of appropriateness for that work, and somehow tie it back to another file. Because the other thing which I hadn't thought about is that the photographs, if we make, maybe we have one photograph just so that people get a sense of the building, but realistically have a link to a file of photographs which is separate. It would keep the size of the inventory file to a reasonable size. Because certainly there are a lot of photographs are very memory memory intensive, and certainly very easily fill up or create large files that we're trying to keep. And I'd rather keep this inventory or the inventory form file as concise as possible, and then have links to other databases which have other information. And so I'm throwing that on the table. You guys agree with that?
I like that. I think the photographs would have to then, we have to be careful to continue to tie them together, to have these housed in the same location and to archive them in a way that we can search by building and by date, ideally. I don't know if the form could say 5 photos from May 2024, 3 photos from June of 1973. I don't know, but something so it's clear what you should be looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I know, for example, we have a lot of postcards, which are not official photographs, but there are images that represent what was there before cameras were readily available. So certainly some sort of text, descriptive text that I think that is something that needs to be developed as part of the database of photographs, which I think, maybe that becomes a separate item up to, as a separate item that it becomes part of this, but it's a separate database.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like once you start trying to link out to, I don't know. I mean, in theory, that idea sounds good because you could have more data stored somewhere else or something like that. But it's also going to start to get kind of even more confusing. And then if we're just trying to make this as simple as possible, a couple sheets in a Google Doc that are easy and clear to fill out, I don't know. It starts to feel like we're gonna maybe overcomplicate it, and then this is really, really never gonna happen.
Well, the thing is that what we're going to have to do is we've got what 200 structures that we have on a database or that in our district. So I think that we're going to have to come up with 200 versions of this inventory form. And then after that, I think that we will be surprised how many different photographs, postcards, or other images that we have that probably should be sorted out and stored according to their location. which I think is going to be, realistically, aside from the information here, the only other thing is that, for example, the certificate of appropriateness. I think we probably would want to link this to a database of certificates of appropriateness.
Um,
And the thing is that is going to be, a separate thing which can be handled separately. In other words, we're in the process of assembling a lot of information concerning the district. And I think photographs and the previous certificates of appropriateness are the three main databases that we need to assemble.
yeah, I think it's very easy. The photograph thing on like in the folders that we already have for photography, it's very easy to just create a new folder with an actual address and just drop any photos in there at any point. Linking to this feels a little bit like a different thing, but all the C of A's as well should
The
live.
C of A's, I know at least as far back as COVID, I have them electronically.
And I don't think they have to be live linked, but it would be nice for this to say new porch, CC of A, March 3, 2022. So you go right to it. So if it has a brief description and a date for reference, that to me would be ideal.
Okay. I think let's start with that. What I'll do is I'll clean this up and I'll send a blank one onto the Google Drive. And so we all need to finish, filling out the form. And it's kind of interesting because I thought it would be relatively simple to fill out the form, but in fact, I had some doubts as to what should go into the form and what should not, for my own house. So I think we should all, make the effort of doing our respective properties so that we get an understanding of the issues that are involved. And I think once we have those 5 forms finalized, we can send them over to Butterfield Library and they can start the database there.
That sounds great.
That sounds good. I've got to cut out. I apologize. But I sent the meeting, the minutes, revisions, and maybe if you can't pass them without me, maybe we can just do it next time. Sorry.
All right, Todd.
Okay.
Are you going to be back anytime in the near future, or are you going to be visiting us?
That's a good question. Everything is kind of up in the air right now. I'm hoping to be back in May.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, just for what I would like to do is push all the board members to finish their uploading their houses onto these forms.
Cool. That sounds good.
And like I said, I'll upload a blank form so that everybody can use the same form.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out.
All right, thank you,
Okay,
Todd.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. And I will stop sharing. And I will also put. Okay, so now AI campaign. So what's next on the agenda? Minutes, am I correct? November 19th, is that the first one?
Oh, October.
I didn't see October in here. I might have missed it.
No, I forgot to print that one out.
Or what are we looking at first?
You can look at November and December. I said you can look at November and December if you'd like.
Okay, well, I've got, November 19th
Mhm.
and December 3rd, 2 copies of December 3rd.
That might have been for that.
Okay, so, actually, there's 2.
Oh, that one happened?
I only have, or maybe it's two. I have one of each. One of November, one of December.
Right.
Okay.
All right, November 19th, Abby, why don't you take us through them? Oh, well, we have comments from Todd, right?
I didn't receive that.
Well, he said he sent them, so,
He emailed them. I can see them, so I can, share if that's easiest.
Can you vote on these minutes?
Sounds like we can't, right, since only 2 of us are present who attended the meeting, but we can still, with Todd's comment, edit them, so we can just put, vote next time, right, without having to re-review. Can we do that?
I'm sorry.
Can we review these minutes even though we can't vote on them, and that way in May, we can officially vote on them,
Well, we can vote on them now.
even though there's only 2 of us who are present at that meeting?
It's true.
I mean, since we can't vote on them, should we just, review them just like Todd did digitally, and we can all send back our notes, and then we can vote on them next time instead of all sitting here to go through them, or is there a benefit to going through them
Yeah,
together?
okay, let's, if we have things to point out, then, let's do that. Since we can't vote on them, because we do need at least 3 of the people who were there at the meeting, to vote on it. Also, one of the things that we do need to not forget about is the training by the lawyer, village attorney.
I think we worked on a couple things in.
Okay, so, November 19th, I guess my first question is, we have, okay,
Yeah, I just didn't see for both 3 Cherry and 24 Fair, the vote. I think for November, there wasn't a vote for 24 Fair, but maybe I think just formalizing each one, I wasn't seeing that. The motion,
Oh, for the public hearing.
but also for the solar panels for 3 Cherry. So it's 3 Cherry, board comment, applicant comment, but then no, motion.
So 3 Cherry Street wasn't voted on until the next meeting for December 3rd. But I am missing the motion for 24 Fair Street on November 19th. 3 Cherry Street wasn't voted on because you guys needed, I think, photos of the property. And then it was approved on December 3rd.
So that should be in the minutes though, I think, just saying that, applicant asked to return the photos or something, so we don't.
Well, so that, did we vote on 3 Cherry Street?
Sounds like we asked them to come back again
All right.
because they didn't have any photos. So it shows up in December.
Yeah. All right. Kimberly, any comments on the minutes?
No, I wasn't here. No comment.
No comment. All right, so anybody has any comment, forward them to, Abby.
Okay. Yeah, I skimmed these, they seem. I mean, Todd found a few things, I guess, but I didn't see anything major, but I'll do what he did. I'll just send some notes directly on the minutes. We do the same thing for December?
Um. Do we have, October's minutes?
I might have sent that in email. I think it was on Saturday, of course.
Yeah, so we have them digitally, so we can review them separately, but not right now.
Okay. All right, so anybody have any comments, please forward them to Abby. And we'll, go over this at the next meeting. Hopefully we'll have enough people to be able to vote on it. I guess that also applies to Todd. Todd should be able to vote on this, right?
For the ones he attended, yeah.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
All right, can we also, just thinking about the minutes, this gets us through December, but can we also get digitally the outstanding minutes for 2025, and we can do the same thing? We can review them digitally in advance.
I'll try my best to get.
Maybe we could do at least January or Jan Feb.
So I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Now, notes that you have, you're gonna send those over to Lauren or?
Yeah, so then she can get them quickly. I'll send them to Lauren and Abby can take them and add to hers or shift them around so the formatting works, whatever is easiest. So then Lauren will just have them. Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that right when I get home, so don't forget.
All right,
Okay, I'm gonna run. Good night.
all right, good night.
Right.